All right, good evening, everybody. I know some of y'all are probably like, yeah, the show was supposed to start at 8:30. Why is it that this show has not started? Yeah, that's my fault. So I take blame. I had to get some dinner, and it took me a little longer than I anticipated. So everybody, please forgive me on that. Um, we are going to definitely still have a really good time on this episode of Titans and Truth, TNT Postgame, as we are going to get into talking about this terrific victory from, excuse me, from this Titans team. Even though there were some good and some bad that came out of this, we're definitely gonna have fun. So everybody, hopefully you come on in and join me. I'm gonna be sharing out now, saying, "Hey, the show has started," and I definitely apologize for the delay. I thank everybody for tuning in, and we are still gonna have some fun nevertheless. And I'm gonna try to not to keep everybody up too late because I know quite a few of y'all probably have to go to bed and get ready for tomorrow. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing started in 60 seconds. Good evening, Titan Nation. How is everybody? What's going on, Titan Nation? How's everybody doing? Thank you all for tuning into a late edition of TNT Post Game. I'm your host, Chris, aka Blue Enforcer. Thank y'all for sticking with me tonight. I apologize again for the tardiness. I know I was supposed to start at 8:30, but had to go out and get some was trying to go out and get some dinner. Thought I was gonna get back in time, but unfortunately I was not able to get back in said time. So I definitely apologize for uh, my tardiness and for any inconvenience. I know a lot of y'all probably have to get ready for bed and stuff, so I'm gonna try my very best not to hold you too long. But first off, make sure y'all go ahead and quickly share this show out. I'm gonna let everybody know as well that that I am live on YouTube right now, and and then that way everybody could kind of go ahead and tune in and so I'm just making sure I share this out since sometimes the book won't let me be great, and I'm not gonna really go too far in. But if y'all can help me out and let everybody know that we're in, I'm tagging a bunch of people right now too, so that way everybody knows that the show is going on and they can tune in. So I'm just doing that as well. If you can help me do that, I would greatly appreciate it. And we're gonna definitely get the show going. Also, if you want some Titans of Truth swag, you can hit me up. You can also hit up Miss Latoya Akinyemi. And you can also hit up my guy. You can also hit up my guy at Out the Crib Customs, and you'll be able to get hats like the ones that I always have and everything. So making sure everybody knows what's going on and y'all can come on in. So, what a day Sunday was. And it was an amazing day. I had, this was probably one of the best Sundays I have had in a very long time. And I will explain to you why in just a minute. And I think we know the main reason why we are all in such a wonderful, festive mood here on this Monday. And that is because the Tennessee Titans did exactly what was needed to be done. They defeated the Houston Texans 28-25. They clinched the number one seed in the playoffs. So now, next week, they get to sit back and chill. They get to sit back and chill. They get to take the week off, don't have to do anything, and just let all the games play out. And we find out who we play next. So this was a great day. And the game, though, was a bit interesting on a couple of fronts because there were some good, there were some not so good, and that I think needs to be addressed. Now, for example, we had some good. Ryan Tannehill, 23 of 32, 287 yards, 2 touchdowns. I'm sorry, not 2 touchdowns. He had 4 touchdowns. Let me fix that right now. Making sure I have my graphics correct. Make sure I got to make sure I have my facts straight. So 4 touchdown passes that he had to Nick Westbrook-Akina, to A.J. Brown, to Anthony Ferkser, and finally, for the first and should have been second time this season, he hooked up with Julio Jones for a touchdown. I thought the Tennessee Titans did a great job of spreading the ball around, and I'm just like this. Julio 5 for 58 in a touchdown, and he had 9 targets. All I kept thinking is, you see what happens when you throw the ball to Julio Jones? Good things happen. Good things happen when you throw the ball to Julio Jones. And that's exactly what went down. And so, again, y'all, make sure y'all help me spread the show out to everybody because I probably hooked up about 100-some people and letting them know what's going on. But this is a good game offensively. Deontay Foreman had 69 yards. I know Dontrell Hilliard had some nice plays too. And Hilliard helped seal the game at the end. He had 9 carries for 57 yards, but he had a big play that sealed the game with a big run for a first down where it looked like he was going to be stopped short, but he ended up getting the first down, and that ended up ending the ball game. So I thought it was a gutsy performance. It shouldn't have gotten to that point, and we're going to get to that in a minute. But definitely one thing that I was very impressed with was Tannehill's poise. Like, there was that particular play that it looked like he was dead to rights in the second half. And it looked like, oh, damn, he's about to get sacked. And we have to punt the football and give it right back to the Houston Texans, who had major momentum. But he got out of there, found a way, got it to Nick Westbrook-Akina, then touchdown to Julio Jones. Rest is history. And the first half for the Tennessee Titans, I thought, was amazing on both sides. We really controlled the tempo. We controlled the game from the beginning and just punched them in the mouth. Now, early on, we had, some 3 and outs. But then once we kind of got scoring, it's like, hey, we getting started. And the defense was absolutely dominant in that first half. Got after Davis Mills, got him on the ground a couple of times, forced some bad throws by him and things like that. I thought it was a very solid performance. I thought it was a very, very good performance for this Tennessee Titans team. But that was just the first half. And we were up 21-0. The problem was, I think the Tennessee Titans forgot that there's a thing called the second half. That, there are two halves to a game, not just one. And the second half, they made the Houston Texans look like world beaters. I mean, Davis Mills was throwing the ball all over the yard. I mean, Davis Mills only had, I want to say, 69 yards passing in the first half, if I'm not mistaken. And I will have to confirm that. But I want to say in the first half, he didn't throw the ball. He only had like 60, 70 yards passing in the first half. Then in the second half, he ended up with like 240, 250 some odd yards in the second half and threw for over 300 and 3 scores and made Danny Amendola look like he was a young pup playing for the Rams or for the Patriots. I mean, it was a complete 180 from what happened in the first half. I mean, offensively, we stalled altogether. Nothing was going right. And, Texans got a little pressure. Defensive, and the running game wasn't there. Defensively, there was no pass rush. And Davis Mills picked us apart. I was like, are we watching the same game? Like, what happened? So I don't know. And I just think nobody played well. Nobody coached well in the second half. I definitely criticized Todd Downing for not keeping the pedal to the metal, but I also criticized Shane Bowen for letting up. And that's exactly what they did. As Miss Loretta would always say, she would say, tighten up, don't lighten up. In the second half, the Titans lightened up. They basically, it's like Gary Gaines. I was watching Friday Night Lights the other night. And it was like Gary Gaines was telling them, look, do y'all think you have it made? Do you think you have it made? And that's basically what the Titans felt like. It felt like they thought they had it made. And they took the foot off the gas. It's like wrestling or MMA. If you got somebody in a rear naked choke, you hold on to that until they either tap out or pass out. You do not let go. The Titans let go. And they nearly lost the football game because of that. But despite, they did what they had to do, and they got a victory. And they are now the number 1 seed in the playoffs. They get a week off. They get to chill. And there are going to be some very good games coming up this weekend. I'm excited to watch some playoff ball, and the Titans ain't even in it this week. I'm excited about it. So congratulations to Mike Vrabel. Congratulations to the team. I know Taylor Wan was like, I know he tweeted out saying, look, thank Tannehill for keeping my streak alive. He only gave up 1 sack since week 1. And, he was like, definitely didn't like the way things ended in that game, but we got the win. It was ugly in the second half, and I didn't like it at all. But some credit I am going to give it to is to you guys, to Titan faithful, especially those who made the trip to Houston for the game. I know there was a lot of people in Nashville and all over who made the trek to Houston for the game. And I was thinking about that myself, but I couldn't find a ticket. I mean, I couldn't find a good flight that I could take and get there in time for the game. And so, I mean, I heard the crowd. I heard noise. I heard a lot of Titans cheering. And even they were saying it on the broadcast, like there were a lot of Titan fans there. But what I didn't like during the broadcast, they kept showing Chief fans in the stands because obviously the NFL, they wanted the Kansas City Chiefs to be the number one seed and not us. You could tell. So, I mean, shout out to Titan Nation for showing up and showing out. A lot of the players noticed. They said it felt like a home game. And oh my God, I cannot wait for 2 weeks. Since the Titans have already taken money out of my account for the playoff ticket, I'm going to go and enjoy it. So that's that on that. But let me get to some of y'all comments because I know some of y'all waited patiently for me to show up. Kent Woods, what's up? One game at a time. Oiler struck, yeah. I know I was on the Power Hour earlier with my guy Michael Bishop, and shout out to Michael. Shout out to Mike Bishop and the Power Hour. Y'all go check him out and subscribe to his channel. He got some good stuff. We had a good conversation about the Titans and about the playoffs in general. So definitely shout out to that. Let's see. Beavis said, "What up, True? Tannehill balled out. He did well." Miss Mims, I see you up in here too. Sean Vanderhall, hey, tighten up indeed. Yes, sir. Jameson, what's up with you? Let's see. Well, we're not a few days away. We're maybe a few weeks away. We're about 2 games away from a Super Bowl berth. So we just got to win these next 2. Whoever they face, we got to win. Ian says, I'm tighten up. I'm ready for the playoff. Me too. I'm excited. Number 1 overall seed. Yes, we are. Yeah, these haters are hungry, getting them ready to eat some crow. I know that's right. Titans Rossi, what's up? He had a good show last night. I don't know. I got to go back and finish watching. But shout out to Titans Rossi as well. Let's see. Blocksville Tanaki says, we're definitely going to the Super Bowl unless we do run, pass over and over and tell everybody at home watching the game, notice that your run, pass. True. We cannot get too conservative. We got to be aggressive and, show the world we ain't to be messed with. James says the first half was a thing of beauty. Second half was just plain ugly. Still got the win. Exactly. It was a tale of 2 halves. First half was great. Second half was pitiful. And as Ms. Mim said, yeah, they took their foot off the gas. They sure did. I'm like, if that's the case, you might as well have pulled the starters out. If that was the case, let's see. X-Man says, compare Vrabel's Titans to Fisher's Titans. Well, that's a good point. It is, I would say there's a bit more variety in the passing game. We never really, in Fisher time, we never really had to depend on nobody else but Eddie George. And Steve McNair could win you some games too. I think this team is faster and better than some of those other teams. Although Fisher did have a lot of good teams. I think this team constructed is better than the team that was constructed in 2000. That's what I think. And both times that we were the number 1 seed, we had to play Baltimore. We ain't got to worry about Baltimore. And we're definitely going to talk about some teams with egg on their face who could be some dunce of the day candidates. I see my little brother's checking in. Christian, what's up, man? He says, how does it feel to have home field advantage, number 1 seed in the King return? Feels great. Feels great. By the way, good luck to y'all against the Raiders. I actually have the Raiders. I have the Bengals winning that game. Josh says, yo, what up, Truth? How about the Titans and the Grizzlies? Let me tell y'all something. Yesterday, I thought for me was the perfect day. And this is why. Titans clinched the number 1 seed. The Memphis Tigers get a big win over the Cincinnati Bearcats, who's their arch nemesis. The Grizzlies go out to LA and sweep both the Clippers and the Lakers and have won 9 in a row. And I pray to God when I go to the Grizzly game tomorrow night that they don't fall and they make it 10 in a row. I know they're playing Steph Curry and the Warriors, and that means they're playing Steph and Clay. So that's going to be a tough game, but hopefully I'm not cursed, and every time I go to a Grizzly game, they lose. So hopefully that's not the case. And then the Colts completely lay an egg, and then the Ravens fall. So both of those teams are out of the playoffs, and it was great. Now, the only thing that would have kept it from being 100% perfect, I had a nice bet from WinBet on the WinBet app that all the LA Chargers had to do was kick that field goal in overtime. They win. And they missed a couple. If the Chargers had won by 3, I would have won some money, and it would have been an absolute perfect day, but it was great with how teams played. Mim said Kansas City is full of beans. I don't know. Kansas City is still going to be tough. That much is a fact. Yeah, Tannehill had to carry us. I agree. James said they smell blood in the water. Hope so. They better act like it. Karen, what's up, man? My guy from Indy. I think I know you went down for the game. Gino says they're better coached. They better be. And, I think they are very well coached. Although the second half, I had some questions. Jags fans clown the coach. I did see a lot of people I did hear a lot of Jags fans are wearing clown wigs and clown the Colts. And they still got the number 1 pick in the draft out of that too. So that's crazy. Dashville 2 says Grizz Nation. Hey, I love the Grizz. Shout out to the Grizz winning 9 in a row. Dashville said we got Ja and Bane. Yup, that's true. Let's see. Ms. Mim says it'll be the day of her birthday, the 22nd. Want a victory. I'm going to be up there, whether it's on the 22nd or 23rd. I will be there for the game. Oh, Miss Mims, you lost me now. Don't be bringing the Warriors up in here. Let's see. Tighten up, Mark Sumter. Says, rest in peace, Danny Tanner. Yeah, rest in peace to the late Bob Saget. I did hear that he did pass away. Burrow's been sacked 3+ times and there's 7 losses. That's very interesting, 615. And I thank you very much for the hoodie. Real comfortable. Shout out to the 615 podcast. Philomatic says, I'm glad Titans got number 1 seed, but I'm going to be a nervous wreck for 2 weeks because there's the president of the number 1 seed being one and done. Hopefully we break that trend. But we won't have the Ravens to worry about. That's one thing. So we won't have the Ravens to worry about. But I'm thinking we're either going to be facing the Bengals, the Raiders, or the Patriots in the next round. And we will talk a little bit about the playoffs in just a bit. But let's talk about this great job that the Tennessee Titans have done. I mean, 12-5. You lose your best player halfway through the season in Derrick Henry. And of course, I'm going to always bring this up because it is, it's a bare apparent that we do bring this up. And that is most of the national pundits gave up on us. Gave up, thought we had absolutely zero shot at all.
To lose Derrick Henry, it's all over. Foot injury. Derrick Henry will not play again this year. But to lose Derrick Henry, it's all over. It's over. They're not going anywhere without Derrick Henry. This is a debate show, and obviously we take different points of views. But when the obvious happens, you have to agree. There's nothing to debate here. Tennessee Titans season's over. Well, let's call it what it is. I'll make you say it.
Yep. A lot of national media all basically said the Titan season was over. Stephen A. said Titan season was over. Michael Irvin said Titan season was over. Adam Schefter kept saying Derrick Henry will be out for the season. He was wrong. Everybody else kept saying, well, there's no way the Titans can win without Derrick Henry. Where are you going to get the production from? Sean, talking about we weren't a real 8-2 team after beating the Rams the week after losing Derrick Henry. And I want y'all to laugh at something. Let me give y'all some comedy. If I could find it. I have to pull this up because it was incredibly funny. I'm trying to see if I can find it. I had it. Hold on. I know I got it. Y'all bear with me, y'all.
Till the moment that you hopefully.
But the fact is that Sean basically made it seem like, I never said that, they stunk. I thought they were great. And Sean basically did a whole about face. Literally. And it was so funny. It was funny as all get out. And like I said, I am going to find it. I'm shocked I can't find this particular video. And I'm like, I just saw it earlier and I was laughing my tail off the whole time. Here it is. Got it. Here we go. Max, Jay, and Sean.
Well, the first thing is going to be to get healthy. I'm doing a lot. All right, Key, how impressive has
Listen to this.
Been for the Titans
Dope.
without Derrick Henry even? Well, it's been impressive in general. Without Derrick Henry, Vrabel's done a tremendous job since coming over from the Texans as a defensive coordinator and becoming a head coach of the Tennessee Titans. But then when you get the rest, that you get the opportunity to get Henry back in that divisional game. Remember, there's only 2 games. You only got to win 2 games, and you're wind up in SoFi. So it's impressive. I mean, I think that they're going to be a better football team. There's no question about it with Henry.
Now, did y'all hear that? That was me, Sean, the dumbest son of a gun around, who did nothing but bash the Tennessee Titans all year, has done a complete about face, did a complete 180. And now acting like, oh, well, the Titans, it's been very impressive. And they're going to be a great team, a good team in the playoff. Weren't you just saying a few weeks ago we want a real 8-2 team? I'm like, of all people, his respect is the last that I want or need. So I'm like, I had to step back for a second. I'm like, this fool, he's playing to the cameras. We know that. Meeshawn is about Meeshawn, and he wants to make himself look good. And like Steve Crowder said, more like he pulled a retreat. He did. He showed backpedaled on what he said. So Chase says, I'm a huge Grizz fan. I want to go to a game. Yeah, they're good games to go to. You know? So, I mean, I know 615 podcast mentioned the Chargers game and how Burrow got sacked a bunch. My brother, of course, is a big Bengals fan, and he was tripping off of that. 615 said, Harold Landry, yep, pay that man. Give him his money. And Dash was saying, how am I slipping? It's my show. It's my show. I'm like, look, I come as prepared as I possibly can. But if I know I have something, I'm like, you know what? I forgot to bring this up. I'm going to find it and bring it up. So, hey, bear with me, y'all. My show. I'm going to do that, but I appreciate you nevertheless. I try to be as prepared as possible. But sometimes there are a few wrinkles that get thrown in. Yeah, the game did have me shook a little. I'm like, are you telling me that they're going to find a way to blow this game? I was not exactly happy with that second half. Fulton, I haven't really heard anything as far as any information on Christian Fulton's injury. I think I want to say in all points, the way that I hear it, I haven't heard anybody really come up with information either. So I'm gonna grant and think Christian's gonna be fine. I think he just got kind of nicked up a little bit, and he should be okay. I don't think it's really gonna be any type of issue. And Kent Woods, I think that may have been the video that you sent me. I want to say. Let's see. James says, Meeshawn, you paid. Let's see. You paid already. Let's see. Turn around his thoughts on the time. What the problem is as fancy. Keep all those receipts. So, yeah. He basically already paid with talking all kinds of crap about us. And now, you know, 615, Charles Woodson favorite to win is the Titans. Well, we'll see. Let's see. Yeah, Meeshawn tried to turn baby face. He sure did, but we ain't buying it. So, let's see. Who's my favorite current Titan? Favorite current Titan. You know what? That is an excellent question. And I think I'm going to say, if I really think about all of this, I'm going to say my favorite current Titan. And I think because I love defensive line is Big Jeff. I was thinking about I I was thinking about Kevin Byard, the mayor of Murfreesboro, and because I love the way Kevin Byard carries himself. I love the way he played. He worked the tail off, wasn't even invited to the combine, and still got picked in the third round, and he's one of the best safeties in the league. But Big Jeff, I have a very special place in my heart for big defensive linemen because I used to play on defensive line in in high school. And you got to know how to do the dirty work and still get pressure on the quarterback and get tackles and wrap up running backs behind the line. But you also got to fight those big offensive linemen. And so Big Jeff has done nothing but impress and has become one of those big game records that we were all hoping for. And the Titans literally have that defensive front as probably the best front in the league. Although the pass rush kind of disappeared in the second half, and I wasn't really happy about that. But I would say my favorite is definitely Big Jeff. Steven Quadro says either Bengals, Raiders, Patriots, or Steelers. And I'm going to say it's either Bengals, Raiders, or Patriots because I just don't see the Steelers winning. I'd be shocked if they won. But then I think we would end Big Ben right here. Ben says, what are your thoughts for real? FFR. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Let me know what you're talking about. I'll answer that. Let's see. Skip and Shannon both picked us out of the AFC. Well, I'm going to have to go back and see that video. I'm definitely going to check that out. I like that name, Beast of the Broadway. Beast of Broadway. I definitely like that. Ray said we now have a two-headed monster attack, Russian attack. No, not two-headed, three-headed. Henry Foreman Hilliard. We have a three-headed monster as far as I'm concerned. Let's see. Craven said, do you believe Tannehill will have a good playoff game since the King is back? I think it definitely helps him. It will definitely help him get better. And it will definitely help him in the long run. But let's talk about some of the other things that happen around the NFL. And as we get ready to quickly go into the playoffs, and I'll talk more about it on Wednesday's show about the playoffs in general. But as y'all can see on the ticker, the Indianapolis Colts laid an egg, losing 26-11 to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they were eliminated from the playoffs. I thought that was poetic justice because everybody kept saying, oh, the Colts, they're the one team nobody wants to see. I think they're the one team that nobody will want to play in the playoffs. Well, guess what? Nobody's going to see the Colts in the playoffs because they didn't make it. They laid an egg and fell flat on their face. And how fitting, going back to 2014, ever since 2014, the Indianapolis Colts have never won in Jacksonville. Since 2014, they have never won in Jacksonville. 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. I want to say that's 8 straight seasons. It's 7 or 8 straight seasons that the Colts have not beaten the Jags in Jacksonville. That's crazy. That's nuts. We swept the Jags. I want to say the last 3 years, we have swept the Jags. So that's one team we don't have to worry about, are the Colts. Next, again, Big Ben got the proper send-off, winning 16-13. They get in the playoffs as the 7th seed, thanks to another team that I'm going to talk about, And now they are the 7th seed, and they have to go to Kansas City and play the Chiefs, which I think will most likely be Big Ben's final game. And unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be a fun one for him. But then last but not least, the game that I thought was the game of the night, of the day, was the last regular season game, Chargers-Raiders. And again, I had a little small bet. I did like a little $10 bet. Could have won like $130, $40. I had the Titans winning. I had Tampa Bay covering, which they did. I had, let me see. I got to pull it back up. I had a couple of teams covering, and they did their job. Here it is. I had Tampa Bay covering, which they did. I had the Washington football team covering. They did. I had the Steelers covering. They did. The Titans winning. All that had to be done was the Chargers cover by 3. And the bad thing about it, the Chargers had their chance. The Chargers had their chance. And, you know, it kept going back and forth. All the Chargers had to do was kick a field goal. They will win. And even when it was tied up and everything, all they had to do was hold tight. And they couldn't get it done. And because of that, the Raiders get in as the 5 seed and the Chargers are out. And not to mention, the Chargers, Bruce Staley for the Chargers, did one of the dumbest things you could do. It was under 2 minutes to go, and the clock was rolling. It was like 38 seconds to go. This fool called a timeout. And you give the Raiders time to kick a field goal to basically win it. It was next score wins. If you just let the time run down, and okay, they might have a timeout and they could have kicked the field goal. Yeah, they could have still won. But I'm letting the time run all the way down. And if they miss, it's a tie. Or they might just say, you know what, let's just kneel the ball and we tie the game. If you tie the game, nobody loses anything because both of you get in. And the Chargers took the timeout, and the Raiders were like, hey, we're just going to go for the win. Might as well. Because think about it. If you miss the kick, it's a tie game. Both of y'all get in. And that was the dumbest move you could possibly make. And it basically cost the Chargers their season. They could have possibly have made the playoffs without giving up another point. So, it is what it is. That was stupid. And now we have our field set right here. And I'm going to talk about the coaching carousel before we get out of here. But here's the field the way it's set. At the top of your screen, you see on the left, the Titans have the number 1 seed. They will play the lowest seed that's remaining. You got the 2-seeded Kansas City Chiefs hosting the 7th seed Pittsburgh Steelers. You will have the 3-seeded Buffalo Bills hosting the number 6 New England Patriots. And then the 4th-seeded Bengals, who had a chance to possibly get the number 2 seed, bomb out. And now they're the 4th seed hosting the Raiders, who just got in. So they're pretty confident and pretty hot. Then on the NFC side, you got Green Bay with the number 1 seed. They will play the lowest seed remaining. You got the second-seeded Buccaneers against the 7th-seeded Philadelphia Eagles. You got the 3-seeded Dallas Cowboys against the number 6 seed San Francisco 49ers, which that game kind of hits a soft spot with me because I used to be a big Cowboys fan and my dad was a big 49ers fan. And that was always a rivalry game I would enjoy watching. And then you have the 4th-seeded LA Rams hosting the 5th-seeded Arizona Cardinals. And whoever's the highest seed remaining, whether it be Kansas City, the Patriots, Kansas City, Buffalo, or even the Bengals, depending on who's left, will face the highest remaining seed. So let's say Kansas City wins. They would face the highest seed remaining, whether it is the Bills or the Bills or the Bengals or the Raiders. The Titans will face the lowest seed that's remaining. So that's the bracket for the playoffs. Tennessee sports are awesome. I agree. Reggie said the Raiders wanted to avoid the Chiefs. Well, that's true. Well, actually, the Raiders would have avoided the Chiefs if the tie had been taken. The Chiefs would have been playing the Chargers. The Chargers would have been the 7th seed. The Raiders would have been the 6th seed. They would be going to Buffalo, and then it would have been Patriots at Bengals. That's what would have happened. James says Chargers coach messed up on that Sunday night. Craven Howard said won $1,500 on the Jag. Hey, congratulations. So, it's going to be fun. The playoffs are going to be fun. Yeah, Philomatic says Colts lost the game. On top of that, forfeit their first-round pick to the Eagles. That's like getting beat up and your girl leaves with the guy who knocked you out. I know that's right. And then Jameson said, Colts are going to be where the rest of us fans will be. Welcome to the playoffs on the couch and watching it. Could not have happened to a nicer team. Wow. Throwing shade on the Colts, I tell you. But it is a good feeling. Ravens, too. They get to sit at home with the rest of us and watch the Titans play, too. So it was a beautiful day. But last but not least, before we get out of here, the coaching carousel. So we saw, Mike Zimmer get fired, and I believe Rick Spielman, the GM, get fired from Minnesota. We saw Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy, the head coach of the Bears, and Ryan Pace, the GM of the Bears. They both got fired today. Vic Fangio got fired from Denver on Sunday, and I spoke with a Denver fan who was very happy about that happening. But the surprise of the day was Brian Flores getting fired from Miami. And that was the shocker of the day. And Reggie, I'm like you and many others. I thought that is the dumbest thing that Miami could have done. Huge mistake. Because, look at this team. They lost 7 in a row, look like they're dead. They win 7 in a row, have a shot potentially to sneak into the playoffs, run into us, and, we pretty much ended that dream. But still, I thought Brian Flores, with what he had to deal with, I think did a very, very good job. Last year, they were 10-6, could have made the playoffs and missed out on it by a game. I didn't think Brian Flores deserved to be fired, and I think Miami is going to regret that big time, letting Brian Flores go. I just thought that was the dumbest move in like the last 10 years of coaches being fired. I thought that was stupid. Hate that for him. And then Dave Gettleman, former GM of the Giants, retired. I think he was going to get fired, so he decided to retire and not get fired. So, obviously, Joe Judge is staying in New York. He got lucky there. Looks like David Culley, the Texan coach, will survive. They're evaluating. I don't know. We may hear something on that front, but for right now, I think David Culley is safe. And what he had to deal with, I think, he deserves at least another shot as well. So, again, I was very surprised with Brian Flores getting fired. And, yeah, I think he's going to definitely get another head coaching job much sooner rather than later. He's not going to be unemployed very long, in my honest opinion, because I think he's a good coach. So that's that on that. Miami, dumb for that. But y'all, I think that's all the time we have. Again, I am happy. The Titans are the number 1 seed. Wednesday, stay tuned for the show. I may have a guest come on, but it may be just me. We're going to probably preview some of these games that are going to be coming up. It's going to be just good to sit back and watch some football, and we don't have to worry about playing. We just get to sit back and see who our next opponent is going to be. So, everybody, I'm going to go try to see what's happening with the national championship and see what's going on there. I'm trying to see what the score is. I see it's 1:20 to go in the third. Looks like it's Georgia up 13-9. So we're going to see who wins the national championship. And I'm pretty sure there are a lot of scouts there. Wouldn't shock me if John Robinson is not there checking out some of the talent for the draft next year. So everybody, hope y'all have a good rest of the night. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all tune in on Wednesday. Thank y'all for sticking with me, being patient with me. I apologize again for being tardy, but thank y'all. Tighten up, because that's all we know how to do. Share the show out, and I will see y'all on Wednesday.